I hope you're doing well, guys. So you pressed on this video because you're curious in how to actually scale your ads and surpass maybe 6x ROAS or even 5 or 3 or wherever you are. You're curious how you can make your ads profitable because they might not be. So this is what I will explain in this video and how I've done it for my client, and exactly what you can do and a strategy you can apply. So if you're curious to find out more, stick around. If you're not, just click off the video. I don't want to waste your time. This is going to be pure value, pure information that I want to give to you. So without further ado, I'm not going to waste your time anymore. So let's just get into my screen and show you guys how I managed to get my client $10,000 with just $2,300. $2,300, and you can too. So as you can see here, I'm not lying, this is Romanian currency. As you can see, you can do the conversion yourself if you want to. So with around close to 11,000 RON, which is Romanian currency, we've managed to do 47,000 RON. This is close to $10,000, and this is more or less $2,300. So what are the contents of this Google document? So what will I explain in this video? So, and this is also mainly for my clients. So we used a very simple funnel, either to the homepage or to a product page. We tested both broad and the niched down audiences, and we saw that we got better results with a niched down audience. We ran ads on Google and Facebook and only spent no more than $20 a day for both platforms a day. So it was $10 on Facebook a day and then $10 on Google a day, and run only product photo ads. It was very simple copy and had an established brand on the socials. So this is very important in order to run ads, in my opinion. If you want to have really good results, you kind of need to have a brand on social media, or at least followers, to prove that people are actually interested in what you have to offer. So number 7, we turned off the ads that didn't perform after 2 weeks of running. And then number 8, we tracked everything. So that's briefly what I will explain in this video. And then I have another bonus points, as I might say, at the end, such as a strategy that you should apply and other things at the end. So if you're curious about that, you can either skip to the video. This video might be split into parts, I'm not sure yet, or you can just watch everything and then maybe take some notes. I do suggest you take some notes on this. Obviously you see a lot of case studies from a lot of different people. This is quite a small one, I'll be honest, but of course there's always something to learn from every single person. So simple funnel. We ran ads to either the homepage or the product page. It is important to make the funnel as easy to go down as possible. You don't want to have a multi-step process for the customer to buy something from you, especially when it is a product such maybe as a phone case, food, clothing, stuff like that. You don't want to have that there. If you're offering services, it would make sense to have a multi-step process. Obviously, don't make it too long again, because otherwise people will just end up dropping off. But for products specifically, do not make it long. You want to make it as short as possible, and you need to make it as simple as possible at the same time. So we found that running ads to a product page will get you the most sales. So our funnel looks like this. So we run Instagram and /Facebook and Google ads to the product page, landing page. They add it to cart, they initiated checkout, and then they finalized the checkout. So it's very simple. There's literally nothing in between. Obviously you can have a pop-up, they can appear to try to get their email. That's totally fine in my opinion. But we also tried the homepage, where we were just sending people to the homepage. We did get a few sales, but not as many sales as to the product page. Now, most of the time people will add more products to the cart also, increasing the average order value. It is never that one specific product, otherwise it is not worth buying. So what I mean is that people click off the ad, they see the product, they don't just buy that one product. They add more products to cart, otherwise it's not worth buying, because just to buy one product, because my clients sold vegan food in Romania. So there's no point in just buying one thing and then checking out. It's going to be very expensive. Shipping plus that one product is just going to be very expensive. So keep in mind to make your funnel simple and effective. Number two, broad and niche down audiences. When we started running the ad campaign, we targeted a broad audience and the results weren't really what we hoped for, so we improvised. We started to niche down a little more into the ICP of the client. We let that audience run for around a week and the results were starting to become really good. Keep in mind, my client sells vegan food, as I mentioned earlier. So the original audience was, this is the broad audience, it was age 18 to 65 plus, country was Romania, and then gender was all genders. So male, female, and the rest, technically. I think there's another option there. Niche down audience was age 18 to 65 plus. Country was Romania, again, all genders. And then interests, we added 3 interests: vegan nutrition, veganism, and vegetarianism. And those we saw start to perform really well, so we left those. We didn't really touch them. We didn't really mess around with the age. You could think that 65 might be a bit too high to eat vegan food. It totally does depend on the person. In Romania, it could be so, but we saw that this really did perform. If I'm not mistaken, most of the customers were around 30 to 50. Those were the people that were buying the products. Now, point here is that if the campaign is not bringing results with a broad audience, you should go ahead and target more and introduce your ICP to the audience if broad is not working. Obviously, Facebook, for example, they kind of took down their all their interests and stuff like that. You can still find them, but they're not as specific as before. Obviously, iOS 14 kind of messed it up a little bit, and they kind of also took back from there, but you can still kind of build your audience out. So do it if broad doesn't work, because if you want to get really good results with broad, you would need a big budget, and I still don't really recommend just continuing with broad if it's not bringing you results. You want to kind of have some guidelines, kind of target a specific group of people, not just target everyone, because obviously it takes time. If you have like a very small budget and you're targeting broad, it'll take a long time to find your customers into that large pool of people. If you target a niche down audience which is smaller with the same budget, there's less people, it's going to take less time for your ads to actually find customers. So that's why I suggest you kind of, if broad isn't working, just go down with a niche audience, just go that route. Number 3 is Facebook and Google ads. So we started running ads on both Google and Facebook ads. Each platform had a $10 a day budget. Depending on what you sell and your brand's establishment on social media, you can go ahead and run just Facebook ads before running Google ads, in my opinion. Google ads could be very competitive and require your brand to be really legit. Now, obviously, if you have a website that looks really good and you have a product, you can go with Google ads also. There's a lot of competition on Google ads. I think I mentioned it here. I average around 70% of the top of page rate on Google. So beating some huge companies just because my client sells their own products. So I'm beating huge companies. If you're in Europe, you might know Lidl. This other company is Romanian, so I won't mention it. You won't know it, but they're way bigger. They make way more money. They sell way more products, but none of them are really branded. So they're like from other manufacturers, from other people, and it's not good. So that's why I'm saying brand, because people love seeing a brand sell their own products, not someone else's. So that's exactly what we're doing here. This brand sells their own vegan food. They have their own logo on it. It's not someone else's. So that's why it's performing well, in my opinion. Now, by utilizing these two platforms, I have the chance to put the brand in front of more eyes, which is the ideal thing to do. Try to get your brand in the eyes of as many people as possible. So if you have a huge marketing budget, choose Google, choose TikTok if you can advertise on TikTok. If your audience is on TikTok, choose Facebook/Instagram, maybe even Spotify. I listen to a lot of music. I love to listen to music, and I've realized that a lot of brands do Spotify ads, and I feel like it's a very not a lot of people advertise on there. There's a lot of potential on Spotify if you know how to do it. So obviously, you have to keep in mind it's mainly audio. I'm pretty sure they can run video ads on Spotify as well. I've seen it before. I've seen video ads on Spotify, but it's a platform that not a lot of people advertise on, and you should probably take advantage of it, in my opinion. I haven't run ads on Spotify for this brand, but thinking about it now, I might as well do. So Facebook ads may be easier to start running ads on. Obviously, the platform is easier to utilize. If you've run ads, you probably know that it's much easier to understand and everything. So what I suggest is that unless your platform is established on social media, you should just stick to one platform to run ads. Then you can move to another one also. So yeah, I mainly suggest starting with Facebook / Instagram, because obviously those for me is where I got my most sales. Facebook / Instagram, not even Google, which is surprising because people go to Google to search for a product. When they want to buy something, they don't go to Facebook or Instagram to search for it. They go to Google. So that's just the power of having a brand, and obviously social media. So if you have quite a large following, because this brand has around 3,000 to 5,000 followers, I'm pretty sure, on Instagram, people buy, because you must have followers in order for people to buy. If you have like 10 followers, people will just think this is like a scam, because you have to keep in mind, people are aware of dropshipping, and nowadays, like, it's nothing special. It works, but you have to take dropshipping to another level in order to sell products. You cannot be that old type of dropshipper. That doesn't work anymore. People have heard of dropshipping, and you know what I mean. So just because she has a brand, my client has a brand, that's why she was able to get a lot of sales at this budget. So number 4, product photo ads. So we ran no video ads at all. All these numbers have been done by just photo ads. They really are powerful in today's world, and a lot of people are missing out on them when running ads. They're all running video ads, and of course video ads perform, but so do photo ads, and make sure to utilize them. So here are some photo ads that I ran for my client. The one on the left is a simple photo taken from their website. It's literally the only product photo they have for this product, and I took it, and it got me, like, I'm pretty sure in around 60 days or even less, it got me 30 purchases, and this product alone generated well over $1,500 because it performed. And this is another one on the right. I wanted to show you guys that I don't just run these type of product photo ads, but I run this type also designs. So I love to mix it, try to do a good design, and also just keep like a simple photo like this, so you can get inspired. They're extremely simple, as I mentioned. A good design that can attract attention is just enough. It will yield you really good results for a long time. So I've been running this ad for quite a while now, because obviously it's bringing me sales, is bringing me results. Once it stops performing, I'll shut it off, obviously. So this is a winner, one of the winners that we've had. And you're thinking it's nothing special, because it's not. Like, it's not meant to be anything special. Like, the more you try to make your ad perfect, in my opinion, the least is going to perform. You have to understand that most of the time in today's world, ads that are nothing crazy perform the best. They just perform the best. So obviously there's a different type. So either you tell a story with your ad, because people love hearing stories, and this is most likely TV commercials. You tell a story and people will buy, or you kind of go that route of not trying to perfect your ad and just kind of go with it. So what I mean is, obviously not the best quality. Obviously audio is important, so good audio, but not the best quality, such as like video or like the craziest shots or stuff like that. So that's what I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Also, keep in mind that you have to test a lot. It might take a while until you start seeing results with some of your ads. Only a few of mine have gotten me results, not all of them. I have only 2 ads, out of which this one on the left is one that performs, and the other one is also a winner. So I have only 2 winners who have gotten me around more than 30 purchases since I started running these ads for my clients. So again, keep in mind that's 2, and I've ran most likely, if I can remember, like 20. So just keep in mind, it takes time to find winners. Also, you have to realize that if you run more ads on a smaller budget, there won't be enough budget to attribute to every single ad. Therefore, the results might not be what you expect. Indeed, I do run a lot of ads on the $10 a day. Just today, today is the 29th of November when I'm shooting this video. I've grown the budget due to the fact that Christmas is coming, so a lot of people might buy. So I added another $10 to each platform. So now it's okay. I run around, I would say 10, if I remember correctly, 10 ads for my client at this moment in time. But let's say your budget is $10 and you're running, I don't know, 10 to 15 ads. There's not enough budget to attribute to every single ad for it to test and literally perform and like prove that it is a good ad. I found it that when very little amount of ads that I've run for this client, so around 4 to 5, just because those were the ones kind of performing, they kept performing. So in my opinion, and we'll get to this point, if the ads are not performing for like 2 weeks, just shut them off. There's no point. Obviously, you can test more if the client has to give you more or if you have more ads ready, but like you also have to create like an ad set where you have winners. It's a bit more complicated strategy. I won't go into this video. It's not necessarily complicated, but it's not the point of this video. But again, keep that in mind. If you want to run more ads, you have to kind of grow your budget. Number 5, simple copy. We didn't complicate the copy of the ad and make it killer long. I admit the copy could maybe be a little longer, but we stuck to something short. And here's the copy structure for the description. It's very simple. So include the name of the product, say something nice about it, include the price, let the person know how much it costs. That's very important because you don't want to waste someone's time, because otherwise you're just going to have a very huge bounce off rate if like the product is too overpriced or something like that. And then add a CTA that sends them to go to the website or something that tells them technically. I don't like to stress the copy too much. I feel like there is no need for that. And as for the headline, most of the time I go with the product name and also add the brand's name at the end. So people say not to include the description most of the time, but that is exactly what I did not do. So I included a small description that is technically a CTA that tells people to go and taste the product food by pressing this button. Here's an example of an ad that I ran. Funny fact is, this is the other better performing ad. So this is the second winner that we have. This is the description we ran. This doesn't include the price. This is just one of the variations that it gave me on Facebook. So this one doesn't give me the price, but we do have it. So it'll be like the price would just literally be here. This is the headline. So I'm not mentioning the company name also, even though it would be here. This is just a variation, and this is the description. Sorry, I messed them up. This is the primary text. This is the primary text. This is the description, and this description kind of points to this button and maybe helps the person try to press it. So number 6, established brand on social media. In order for your ads to have some sort of results, your brand must be established online. That means lots of followers online. Good to have at least 1,000 plus, in my opinion. Engagement on your posts, very important, and activity on your account. By activity, I mean that you're posting consistently, you're doing stories of your products, stuff like that. All of this helps a lot. Of course, you can buy followers and likes and all that type of stuff. I don't really suggest you do that. It might tamper with the ads and make them perform badly. I've seen this because obviously they're bought followers, they're not real followers. So I don't really suggest you do it. Obviously, they can perform good. If you want, you can do it. Nothing is stopping you. If you want to do it quick and you want to start running ads as fast as possible, then do it. Obviously, there's no one to stop you, but I wouldn't really do it. I would rather have a true audience that kind of engages with my content and everything. It takes time to grow an account, and it can be done over time. You need to post organically also, not just run ads. That is very important. So don't just think ads will bring you most of the sales. Most likely they will do, but organic is very important also. If you know how to do the organic part also very well, you'll get sales like that as well. Nevertheless, you could run ads without a lot of followers, but you could face the consequences of not seeing the results you envisioned. Again, I mentioned that because people correlate followers with a lot of people buying the product. If you don't have a lot of followers, people will just think that, oh, no one's buying your product, why should I buy from you? You're not real, you might be fake. So that's why I suggest and I kind of consider that having followers is important on social media, because people buy from people followers, and I'm that type of person also, to be completely frank with you. So it's very important you do that, in my opinion. Number 7, turning off non-performing ads. While running the ads, I realized that some were not performing at all, no sales after weeks of running, so I decided to shut them off. There is no point in them spending more money. Best to leave more budget for the better performing ads that bring more sales. I would at the same time run new creatives to see which would perform. It was difficult at such a small budget. There was never really enough to fully test. Now that I kind of grew the budget, there is a bit more to test, but some of the ads differentiated themselves from the rest and got the most sales, which I call winners, which I mentioned earlier in this video. So those 2 winners that I mentioned, they had more than 30 sales each. Is what I call winners. Of course, I've had ads that have gotten me 10 sales. Obviously, that's good, but they don't compare. Of course, they don't compare. So, number 8, tracking everything. Of course, everyone tracks their ads. Otherwise, how would you know if you've made an ROI? But for me, this was very important, as it is for every client. The way I do it is quite simple, yet some people haven't done it this way. They do it to some certain extent. So I put all the data in a Google spreadsheet on the lines. So the lines being like this. I have the dates. So if I start running ads today, the 29th, I would put that date there, and then on the right, technically on the columns, is where I would have all my metrics. So I would have my line and then my columns, and then I would fill out every single metric for that day. So how much I spent, how many sales I got, how many impressions, how much reach, how many clicks, how much money I made, what was my CPA, cost per acquisition, etc. And I would put all of those metrics there that I wanted to track. Then I connect everything into a template on Looker Studio that displays all the results in a way easier way to understand. So here's an example of a Google spreadsheet, the way I do it. So you have the date here, as I mentioned, and then you have the amount spent, or the columns of all the metrics you want to track. Quite simple. So you have all of these here, and then you kind of just put them one under another. And then here's an example of Looker Studio and what it looks like. It's way easier to understand than this. We can both agree on that. So I've got the amount spent. This is like a funnel. So I spent this much. I obtained this many impressions. Then out of these impressions, I got this many landing page views. Out of these landing page views, I got this many adds to cart. After this, I don't have the data for this. I didn't add it because I cannot check that. Because our website isn't done in Shopify, which is kind of easily integrated with Facebook ads, for example. And then out of these, I got this many purchases, and these purchases resulted into this much money. I have my ROAS here on the left. I've got other stuff here like CPM, CPA, CPC. And then obviously you decide the period you basically ran these for. So maybe you want to see the results from a week ago or something like that. Quite simple. So you can find templates like this online. I'm pretty sure it's nothing too difficult to find. So just search Looker Studio Facebook ads template or Google ads template. I know they have their own from Google. They've built their own template in Looker Studio for Google ads specifically, but it's important that you have a good Google spreadsheet so that it integrates with this. Now for the extra, I wanted to say seasonal and political events. So if your ads can benefit seasonal events, then by all means run ads like that. It will benefit your business and boost your sales. Whether it's Christmas, Halloween, Easter, New Year, discounts, Black Friday, etc., whatever. It can really help your business if you benefit from these seasonal events. Discounting, stuff like that will get you more sales and most likely make you more money or stuff like that. You also have to be careful of any political events or movements that might affect your business. For example, I've realized that during presidential elections, the clients' sales have had a huge decrease. We were running ads and there was like 2 days in a row we weren't seeing any sales. So you have to keep that in mind when there's political events, again, such as presidential elections or any sort of elections or anything that might tamper with your product. Make sure that you know of it so that you don't spend money and you get no sales. Obviously, I didn't turn off my ads because it's a presidential election. It shouldn't really affect the way my product sells. Things like this can really influence, so beware. It might be best to turn off the campaigns for that period. You're just going to be spending money aimlessly. It's not going to bring you results. So you know in what niche you are, you know what product you sell, you know what happens politically, anything like that, any sort of events throughout the year, and you know when you must run ads and when not to. So beware, never forget, because this is very important. You could waste money without realizing it, and it's just sad. Another thing I wanted to tell you guys is the strategy that I suggest you run. So firstly, I suggest that you run photo ads to start off with. Give it a go and see what results you might get. So obviously, if you want to do video ads, go ahead and do video ads, but I ran this client photo ads from the very beginning, never run video ads, and I got really good results with them. So from my perspective, I say, why not go and you guys try photo ads also. In my opinion, a lot of people are missing out on it, so you might actually take advantage of your competition like this. This will work well if you have a very good product photo ads. So again, mine were very simple, but the design was nice. It was clear, and so was the product photo. Secondly, start off with a lower budget. You don't want to spend a lot of money in the beginning on ads and not even know which ads are performing. So very important, don't start running ads with $200 a day in the beginning, in my opinion. You want to, because you're technically, mind my language, throwing shit at a wall and expecting for something to stick. Even with like $10 to $20 a day in the beginning, you'll still see which ads actually perform and which ones don't. So once you find out that, then you can invest more. So start off a bit smaller and then start investing more as the ads start performing. Thirdly, I would suggest running ads on Facebook only until your brand is somewhat established and people have heard of you. And here I cannot stress it enough. When I mean a brand, I mean a logo on your product. It's not something manufactured in China and doesn't have your logo on it. Obviously, your product could be manufactured in China, but obviously what I mean is try to put a logo on it. People love when they see a logo on it. They love brands. They love the story. They love anything to do with that, the brand, not just the product without a logo or anything like that. So that's why I suggest starting on Facebook, and then you can kind of progress to Google, where it's a bit more competitive, because on Google people that actually sell products and they've been doing it for quite a long time do it. Obviously I might get a lot of hate from dropshippers that do it for this, of course. If you want, you can go ahead with Google also. Not saying that it won't perform, I just feel like for this specific case, most likely Facebook would perform well, most likely better than Google. Fourthly, try running a broad audience to see what results you obtain, and then try to see what results a niche down audience also brings you. So again, I've heard a lot of people try broad audience and they got really good results with it, and the niche down audiences didn't get results at all for them. I've found the opposite. So you can either try a niche down audience or a broad audience first, but test the two and see which one is worth using, in my opinion. Maybe both perform, then you can run two ad sets within the same campaign, but though it's one ad set is broad, the other is just niche down audience. So you can do it that way also, but test these two, because one might work for you and the other might not. So it's obviously different for every person. Fifthly, turn off the ads that haven't gotten any results at all. After 2 weeks of running, that is quite straightforward. And lastly, sixth point is utilize simple copy. Don't try to complicate it in any way. Obviously, if your product is like, for example, something that let's just go within the health niche, it's like a massage gun or something like that, you can have a bit longer copy, say what is done, say how it's helped someone or something like that. Of course you can, but since I'm selling food, there's no point in mentioning it. Of course I can have like a bullet point list of like made out of this, has vitamins, this and stuff like that. I don't do it because it's a bit too much for me in my opinion, but obviously my work, it's worth a test. So you could either run short, long, medium, test them out. Anything can work for you. You never know. There's so many variations within advertising. You just have to try them all and try to find out what works. Whew, that was long. So I wanted to kind of present my offer because obviously I'm giving out this all this value out for free. So I thought, why not kind of mention what I do, how I can help your business and stuff like that. So ads are not easy to master, and they require experience and knowledge and constant adaptation. So if you're struggling to run ads, or don't see an ROI, or just don't have the time to run them, then I can help you. I'll run your ads for you and obtain a ROAS, return on ad spend, of at least 3x within 60 days, or I will refund you half of what I charge you. If you're interested, you'll find my calendar down below where you can pencil in some time with me where I'll explain how I can help you. So everything above was what I did for my client. Doesn't mean I will apply the same things for you. There are different strategies for every single client. I do not apply the same thing twice unless it's maybe very similar, but even at that point, there's always something to change. So same things are never applied twice. Things are never applied twice. So again, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. I'll happily answer them. And if you obviously want to book a call where you're trying to get more information, or you're trying to find out more about what I do as an advertiser, go ahead, by all means, book a call, and then we'll see what we can do for your brand. But without further ado, I hope this was quite helpful. The strategy is very, very simple, but it should kind of give you an idea of what to do. If you like these type of videos, let me know, guys. I'll do more of these. I'm trying to get more into the value side of things, so I'm trying to film more value. So yeah, this was a long video. I hope it helped you out, guys. I hope I didn't waste your time. So yeah, without further ado, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.